All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and man, say it ain't so. Now, we heard the other day how we heard Biden was trying to compare Donald Trump to Hitler, and we remember about a month or two ago when Hitler did the same thing when she went on The View trying to compare Donald Trump to Hitler. Like, these people are crazy. Now, we were all pissed off about what Colorado did to Donald Trump. The Supreme Court actually took Donald Trump off the ballot, and come to find out, it seemed like Texas and Florida is look like they threatened to remove Joe Biden off the 2024 ballot. See, that's what you call when karma goes around. Even though I still feel like what Colorado just did to Trump, I feel like he's going to get overturned and Donald Trump is going to get back on the ballot. I really believe that's going to happen because I don't see Donald Trump letting this right here stand. Alina Habba already spoke out on it and said they're going to try their best to get this overturned. So now Joe Biden was joking. Y'all seen the jokes and stuff that Joe Biden was saying when Donald Trump got took off the ballot, talking about he did cause an insurrection and all type of stuff like that. Now look who's in the hot seat. Joe Biden himself, old creepy Joe. Now, like I said, I definitely want to check this one out. Like I said, this one right here is coming by Benny. Shout out to Benny. I will leave the original video in the description. Make sure y'all go show Benny some love. And he said this was Texas and Florida threatened to remove Joe Biden from the 2024 ballot for insurrection invasion of the United States of America. There we go. So like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. Everybody been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody that clicked on this video for the very first time. And like I said, shout out to the one that always watches the entire video because it really helps out a lot. Because YouTube will share my video so more people can see my reaction, and that right there is what helped the channel grow. And make sure y'all please hit that like button for me. It's really important. Hit that like button. And before we get into the video, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully everybody loved their gifts, open their gifts and everything like that. Like I said, once again, Merry Christmas to everybody. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this, y'all. Let's go and let's see exactly what just happened.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. My grandmother used to always say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What does that even mean exactly? It's such an old-timey saying. What that means is if you do something to somebody else, well, expect that to be done reversed right back to you. You punch someone else in the eye, expect a black eye yourself. You chip someone else's tooth, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's Old Testament justice right there, baby. So what's good for you is good for them, and expect it all to come right back around. That's karma, baby.
That's right.
And now what you're seeing inside of the political world is people saying, wait a second, why don't we just take Joe Biden off the ballots? We're a bigger state than Colorado. Maybe if you're going to normalize taking Donald Trump off the ballot, we just take Joe Biden off the ballot. The lieutenant governor of Texas, who would oversee such a feat, was saying straight up, wait a second, you're going to go after Donald Trump for insurrection, something that Donald Trump has been found innocent of in a impeachment trial, and something that he's never been charged with in a formal trial, in any civil or federal conviction. Something he's not even being charged with, much less found guilty of, much less acquitted of. So now you're going to say he can't run for president because you didn't like something? Yeah, baby. How about this? Real insurrection is allowing 8 million criminal migrants, many of them from hotbeds of terrorism, to enter our nation, and we have no idea who they are or where they're going. That's an actual insurrection against our nation, and then using the American military to facilitate that. So that's using the American military against the American people. There's your insurrection. Let's strip Joe Biden from the ballot. And by the way, it's not just him. Ron DeSantis floats the idea that Biden could be removed from the ballot for letting 8 million illegals into the country and violating the Constitution.
There we go.
Same thing. Speaking at a campaign event on Wednesday morning, following the ruling the Colorado Supreme Court disqualifying Trump being the state primary ballot, DeSantis said, what you're seeing the left do, they'll use the power of the state to advance their agenda. And you see that with Colorado Supreme Court. So then DeSantis went on to say, could we just say that Biden can't be on the ballot because he let in 8 million illegals into the country and violated the Constitution?
Sure did.
I mean, hey, look. If somebody's convicted of something, or some of these things, there should be no trial in any of this. They're basically saying you can't be on the ballot. How does that even work? Ron DeSantis is a lawyer himself. So multiple people are asking this question. And of course, the state of Texas is straight up saying, like, You have no idea what you've done to what you've done to our state. Like, you've destroyed our state. This is why the state of Texas signed a law recently, yesterday actually, on the border, saying it is now illegal, punishable by 20 years in prison to enter the state illegally. If you're a foreign national, you shouldn't have to do this because the 1964 Immigration Act actually says you can't do this, right? So the laws of America state you're not allowed to come into this country illegally. Yet, Democrats have ignored those laws and has staged an insurrection against our nation. So by every measure and by every mean, Dan Patrick here, Lieutenant Governor of Texas, is saying, we're just going to take Joe Biden off the ballot here. Well, that wouldn't be very good. There's a lot more people in Texas than Colorado.
Sure is.
A lot more people in Florida than Colorado.
Yep.
Why don't we just remove Joe Biden's name from all of those states? Most of the states in America are red states. Why don't we just remove Joe Biden's name from all of those states? You set the rules. Here's the Lieutenant Governor of Texas saying, you know what? F around, you find out.
To deport them. Joining me now is the Texas Lieutenant Governor.
Let's go.
Dan Patrick. Dan, now the White House said today that this law won't make communities safer. Your response?
So we spent a lot of time, Laura, in the Senate writing this bill along with the governor, and we believe we have a bill that will survive any type of Supreme Court challenge because we are being invaded. Arizona tried this about 10 years ago, but our law is different. It simply says that our law enforcement can arrest anyone, take them in, do a background check, photograph, do fingerprints. If they saw them cross the border illegally, we can do that. Or if they happen to reveal in the arrest stop that they crossed illegally, and then the magistrate will send them back and will escort them to the border. And they have a choice. They can go to jail or they can go back. And if they go back and try to come back again and we arrest them again, the penalty gets even higher.
Wow.
We're fed up. In fact, seeing what happened in Colorado tonight, Laura, it makes me think, except we believe in democracy in Texas, maybe we should take Joe Biden off the ballot in Texas for allowing 8 million people to cross the border since he's been president, disrupting our state far more than anything anyone else has done in recent history. And so this is so outrageous. 10,000, 12,000, 14,000 people a day crossing the border, 8 million
now,
people
numbers,
since he's been in office, enough to be the 12th largest state.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Now, I think the numbers people are numb to the numbers now. It's the sheer mass of humanity that is obviously taking over cities, local communities, school districts, healthcare system, homeless shelters. I mean, it is overwhelming already overburdened state and local budgets. And now, Dan, this Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett, decides, well, it's time to go after Texas. Watch.
I'm very concerned because the Republicans have never gotten immigration right. When you look at somebody like Greg Abbott, my governor, and his solution is to basically say, hey, we're going to kill people that are trying to come in. Like, that's not a solution.
So, Dan,
kill people?
You're a congresswoman from Texas. You're trying to kill people, you and Abbott.
Yeah. She's Jasmine Crackpot, not Jasmine Crockett. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
Our bill, Senate Bill 4, says we can arrest them and send them back. We also passed another bill to put another $1.5 billion into building more wall, and we filed another passed another bill, to deal with human smuggling because the Biden administration is doing nothing, Laura, as we all know. We know that hundreds of people on the terrorist watch list have been apprehended. That doesn't count all the people we don't catch. We know that sex offenders, rapists, murderers have crossed the border, and Biden does nothing. He puts our lives at risk. They don't care.
But,
you know, again, Laura, our founders.
They don't care that. No. Dan, they don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the representative democracy. They don't care about democracy. And they certainly don't care about how many Americans and legal immigrants have been killed or brutalized or beaten or robbed because of the people they don't care. That's all a collateral damage. Dan, we got to roll. Thank you for joining us.
For his part, Joe Biden doesn't seem that particularly...
Wow. Won't we just take Joe Biden off Texas? Since he let 8 million illegal immigrants come through since he's been in office. How about we just do that? Since they want to play this game about taking Donald Trump off the Colorado ballot, let's take Biden off Texas and Florida then. Since this the game that they want to play. Trump ain't been charged with none of this stuff that they talking about, but yet they want to, because they don't like him, they're just going to take him off the ballot. That right there is BS. Now, you heard what he just said. Won't we just take Biden off Texas? Since he done let 8 million illegal immigrants through. Remember when Trump was telling him to put the border up, he didn't want to listen. He called Biden called it racist. Then all of a sudden now he wanted to try to put up the border up. Oh, it's too late now, Biden. So you heard what they just said. Like I said, this right here is just crazy. Cause like I said, I think this the part right here. I think that I seen a little snippet of how Biden was he enjoyed himself when Donald Trump got took off the ballot in Colorado. Oh boy, he enjoyed himself. Oh yeah, Trump did do that. He did cause insurrection. But guess what, Joe Biden? You did too. If that's the case, if that's the logic you want to go to, then Trump caused the insurrection, which we know he didn't. Let's talk about what you did. How about that?
Really worried about this, Joe Biden repeated the lie that Donald Trump engaged in insurrection.
A lie.
Is Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly it's self-evident. You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. There's no question about it. None. Zero. And he seems to be doubling down on about everything. Anyway.
No, okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay, Biden. Trump. So he did. So you trying to say that he did do it? That's what you saying, Joe Biden? You saying Trump caused the insurrection? Let's talk about what you caused when you let over 8 million illegal immigrants come across the border. What do you call that, Mr. Biden? What do you call that? Sound like to me you caused an insurrection. See, that's the thing that they do. They constantly wants to lie on Donald Trump, man. I'm telling you, this right here is going to continue because Donald Trump is winning in the polls. They're going to continue to lie on him. We seen the footage, the J6 footage. We seen how people was peacefully, we seen the police officer peacefully let people walk through the hallways. Was no shooting at nobody, was nobody fighting, none of that. All this stuff was just a straight lie, and I've called this out before. I can see why Nancy Pelosi ain't locked up.
He supported an insurrection by questioning the election. Just same thing that you did, by the way. Joe Biden is an election denier. 2016 and in the year 2000.
Yep.
Joe Biden denied the results of elections.
Yep.
Democrats denied results of elections every time they don't win. Until now. Now that all the wiring and all the rigging has been done, now that the results will spit out what they want, now every election is secure and sacred. Got it? Except for the last 5 that they lost. Donald Trump saying they're the threats to democracy.
It's no wonder crooked Joe Biden and the far left lunatics are desperate to stop us by any means necessary. They are willing to violate the U.S. Constitution at levels never seen before in order to win this election. Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. It's a threat.
Yep.
They're weaponizing law enforcement for high-level election interference because we're beating them so badly in the polls.
Yep.
That is correct, and that is
now,
precise.
How many times, if y'all been watching me for a while, how many times have I said that they are attacking Trump because he is winning in the polls by a landslide, so they willing to do anything to get rid of Donald Trump. Look at the crap that Jack Smith is constantly trying to do, and he just got rejected the other day. Look what Fannie Willis and Letitia James and all of them, these corrupt people are trying to do to this man. All of this is an election interference to see if they can drop Donald Trump's poll numbers. That's what they're trying to do. That's their goal. Because they can't beat the man fair. So that's why you got Colorado just taking the man off the ballot for no reason. So hopefully let's see if Texas and Florida is going to take Joe Biden off the ballot so we can see, since that's the game that they want to play.
I see what Joe Biden. Oh, it's clear. It's clear he instigated an insurrection. Hey, Joe Biden, what is the definition of insurrection exactly?
He probably don't even know.
This is the definition of insurrection. This is the definition of insurrection. These are the high special interest aliens. Special interest aliens is a nice, legally massaged word for terrorists. These are the people from terrorist hotbeds that have crossed into our country illegally by the tens of thousands. 30,000 from Turkey. 6,000 from Afghanistan, 3,000 from Egypt, hundreds from Iran and Iraq, Jordan, and Lebanon. Yemen. We're at war with Yemen right now. We're letting hundreds of Yemenis into the country. Uzbekistan, Syria. We're at war with Syria. We're currently at war with Syria. There are American bases in Syria we're at war with. Pakistan. This is what an insurrection actually looks like.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, even Joe Rogan straight up sounding off on the border. So this, again, gaining steam. Do we now remove Joe Biden from the ballot based on his insurrection? Like, by definition, insurrection is an armed attempted takeover of the American government. And is that not what Joe Biden is doing by allowing the military and border patrol to facilitate the invasion of our nation? So that you could have an entirely new population of Americans who weren't born here. You could enfranchise them, and then they'll have fealty to you and your party. That's exactly what they did in California, and it's exactly what they're planning on doing everywhere in the country. Baby, just ask them. Joe Rogan, listen, man, if Joe Rogan's on your side on something like this, a question like this, like, there it is. The border has been invaded. How many of them are militants? How many of these are forming terror cells? They're importing Democrat voters. If you rig it so these people are allowed to vote, they're going to vote for Democrats. The words of the most powerful podcast in the world. Watch.
You know, there's the fucking border's been invaded by hundreds of thousands of illegals. How many of them are militants? How many of them have snuck in across the border and are forming terror cells? We don't know. I mean, that's the giant fear.
That's for sure happening.
For sure.
There's no doubt.
For sure.
I read this thing that there's like 6 to 10 million people that came across the southern border in the last 4 to 5 years. Woo! That's as many people that live in New York City. And then like a crazy increase in people coming across the northern border.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, and I see it. I've been in California a lot the last few months. It's insane how many more people are just obviously all of a sudden just appearing, like getting dropped off on like street corners with buses, literally just in the middle of nowhere. They literally just get off the bus with a cell phone.
But look at New York City. When Coleman was explaining how New York City literally has a mandate to house its homeless.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the people that lived there that were down on their luck. And now it's people that have come in from other cities or other countries rather, illegally. And they're trying to make it so that those people can vote. And you see what they're doing with people from Venezuela?
Crazy.
They're sending people back from Venezuela.
Only from Venezuela.
Yeah, because Venezuela opposes socialism, so they're not going to vote Democratic.
Yeah,
they don't want those people.
That's crazy.
It's fucking wild.
It's crazy how it's so like when you start thinking about it like that. That sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's like totally political. All these moves.
100%.
Yeah,
they're literally importing Democratic voters.
Yeah,
they think by allowing the borders to be porous and by giving people aid and giving people housing that you're essentially guaranteeing that if you can rig it so that those people are allowed to vote, those people are going to vote Democratic. And if you could say that, oh, voter ID is racist, like what? Voter ID is racist.
That's crazy. They think that.
They
don't think that. They don't think that. They know that that's not true.
It's horse shit.
Yeah.
It's all political horse shit. But that's unfortunately the level of discourse that we have today, especially with all the virtue signaling on social media and all the people clamoring to prove that they're the most progressive and the most open-minded and equitable, and we're all down for inclusivity and like.
The thing is, I remember I don't know if that was about a month ago. That Chicago had like a riot. Like it was a lot of people out there protesting. They were mad because a lot of illegal immigrants came to Chicago and just took up all the hotels. I mean, they said they took up all the hotels. People in Chicago was pissed off. I remember that video like I did it yesterday. And that's what we've been talking about. So Joe Biden wanted to run around here and talk about Donald Trump, talking about he supported the insurrection. Look what you are doing. Look what you allowed. Look at all these people that you allow into this country. And that's the reason why you seen people in Chicago was protesting and was pissed off about it and was saying that these people shouldn't be here. They done took up all our hotel rooms. I mean, almost all the hotels, they done took up everything. Like you said, getting dropped off by a bus, getting off with nothing but a cell phone. But yet Joe Biden want to talk about Donald Trump supporting the insurrection, though.
Yeah,
bro,
there's going to be repercussions to all that for sure. I mean, you see the videos in New York City and Chicago and these places where they're dropping all these people off. they'll like video 500 people in a row and it'll be like 2 women. And almost everyone's like between 20 and 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's all military age dudes.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think's going to happen 5 years from now?
Right.
With like 10 million illegal immigrants here.
Also, if you're importing people that have come from horrible, crime-ravaged parts of the world, that's what they grew up with. That's what they're accustomed to. And
That's
if you
their
also
baseline.
have a defunding of the police,
Yeah.
and you also have a complete disrespect for law enforcement in this country, well, it's a recipe for disaster.
Well, and think of it, it's so crazy because everybody has a smartphone these days. Even in, almost pretty much every country, people have smartphone and access to the internet. There's 8 billion people on the planet. The U.S. has incredible, like the lifestyle, like the normal lifestyle in America is crazy. It's like a joke how good it is. Like people got it so good in this country. It's insane. 8 billion people are looking at that with social media.
Yeah.
And they're seeing on the news thousands and thousands and thousands of people walking across straight into the U.S. and getting all these incredible things in return for doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I would be wanting to come here, too, if I was from some f***ed up country.
100%.
Yeah, so you
I
can't
don't
blame
them
but-
at all.
No.
I don't even blame them. I would 100% be one of those people making their way across. If
And
I
then-
lived in Guatemala or wherever, all I had to do was like hike for a couple of weeks, and I could be in America and get a landscaping job and feed my family.
Yeah,
And
you get a bus ticket to
Yeah.
freaking Tijuana or wherever
Yeah.
and then just walk across the border.
Yeah.
Sweet.
it's crazy.
Yeah. And then I feel like nobody agrees that having a secure border is a bad idea. I think everyone thinks that a secure border is a good idea.
It became a political talking point during the Trump administration because people wanted to label Trump as racist and they wanted to label the wall as racist. But meanwhile,
That's
Obama
crazy.
it's so dumb. Obama was talking about that. Obama was talking about that in 2013. That we have to secure our borders.
And I was reading that it would cost between $4 and $6 billion to finish the wall, and we sent $100 billion to Ukraine.
We accidentally oversent $6 billion to Ukraine.
That's enough to finish the wall and secure the border. Like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Wow, there we go, man. Shout out to Joe Rogan. But there you go. Like you said before, Joe Biden called the wall racist at first. I remember that, don't it? When Donald Trump told him to secure the border, put the border up, but he want to talk about Trump led an insurrection. Now it seems like Texas and Florida is starting to feel the same way because they were like, okay, y'all want to treat Donald Trump like this? And then you got Joe Biden, he in all in it. He could be behind the scenes with Colorado too. They could be all working. Obviously, it was 4 against 3. Liberals voting against Donald Trump, so they took him off the ballot. So let's see how it feels once Texas and Florida take and remove Joe Biden off the ballot. And we'll see how that feels since we want to play this type of game. But like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about all of this. Appreciate everybody that stayed to the end. Once again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Everybody, Merry Christmas to your family. Happy holidays. I'm glad a lot of you made it to the end. If you did, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.